Tammy Wallace. I am the regional sales leader for the Southeast. So I've talked to some of you, welcome aboard. And if I haven't talked, I understand that there are other participants here across the country. If I haven't met you yet, welcome to the call. And thank you again for joining us. Listen, as you know, we don't like to wait long. We don't believe in waiting on much of anything here at Cardinal. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And that's kind of the feel of Octane too. We're very proud of Octane and want to showcase it here today with you guys. We've spent years and millions of dollars trying to perfect this platform. It is a proprietary platform, very robust. And you know, part of the platform or the sell of the platform is we don't like waiting. We want to give brokers the control to do things themselves within our system that's instantaneous, really, things that you would have to wait in line in other systems. So just to give you kind of an example, and I don't want to steal any of Matt's thunder here, but if you want to go in and change a loan amount, the broker or the AE, if you're helping out for that matter, can go in and change a loan amount, process the change. It will update the lock and immediately send out disclosures. You can do the same thing with interest rates. You can, if you need to update, let's say, you know, at the last minute, the DTI is too high and you need to change an interest rate, you can do so. Save the change, process the change, updates the lock, and instantaneously sends out disclosures. Now, that's one of several magic trick, guys. We've got a lot of magic tricks. We get almost an immediate preliminary approval when you register a file, so you can see every one of our needs. And we can send out closing packages immediately. We can pre-balance. There's lots of magic tricks. Again, don't want to steal Matt's thunder. So on that note, I would like to introduce Matt Carucci. He is here with us today. He is such a great support to us as a sales force. He knows Octane in and out. We are so glad to have him. He's a very valuable teammate. So he's going to show you really quick how do we register and disclose a loan to kind of give you a feel of what Octane looks like and give us a little bit of an opportunity to showcase it. So without any further ado, I want to introduce Matt. And last thing I want to tell you before I switch it over is you guys remember what you're looking at today is exactly what the brokers look at and exactly what our ops staff sees. Everybody is in the same system. It's almost like you have a virtual desk here at Cardinal. So take it away, Matt.
Excellent. Thank you, Tammy. So everyone should be able to see my Octane screen. This is the home page that you would come to as soon as you log in. Real quick, what I want to mention though, if you have any questions as we're going through this, there is a chat function that is available. So if you look at the control panel and you hover over more, there is a chat function. So please ask your questions in the chat field and we'll address those at the end. So right now what I'm going to do is show you how to take a 3.2 file and have it disclosed directly to the borrower. The broker has full control in doing that. They do not need any team member at Cardinal in order to push disclosures to their borrower. So we're going to go to add loan. The loan create method, I'm going to do a Fannie Mae import. Your application type, if you're ready to move forward with the disclosures, you're going to choose application. If you have a TBD address and you'd like a full credit underwrite for their income and assets, you can actually do that as well with pre-approval only and push that to underwriting so that you can confirm that your broker and borrower will qualify for the loan. So for this example, I'm going to use application. I'm going to be a loan officer right now. My compensation type, I'm going to go with borrower paid fee and price. You do have 4 different options. If you want the $8.95 underwriting fee as a line item, you can do that as well. You can have both your broker comp and the $8.95 fee baked into the price. So for this example, I'm just going to go with borrower paid fee and price. The credit service provider, your broker can use the drop down and select the credit service provider that they are signed up with. I'm going to go with Credco, and you can import liabilities as well. So if they have added child support, alimony, or made adjustments on the liabilities on their 3.2 file, they can mark yes here, and those will populate over into Octane. Then they simply just drag and drop their 3.2 file, or they can pull it off of their computer, whatever easiest for them, and then they'll click Add Loan. So Octane is now pulling all of the information off of the 3.2 file and putting it into a new loan. This takes just a couple of seconds, and now your broker would be able to go directly into the new loan. I'm going to refer to this ribbon as at the top as the loan ribbon. Anything that has green text is hyperlinked to a new field that provides more information. Everything on the left-hand side I'm going to refer to as screens. Everything inside those screens I'm going to refer to as tabs. So the first thing on a new loan, the broker's going to want to reissue their credit report. So they're going to click into their borrowers and authorize the credit report on however they obtain the application. Click Set. You want to save before leaving any screen. If you go to leave a screen, it's going to prompt you to save so that you don't lose your information. So now that I've authorized the credit report, I'm going to request a new report inside of Octane. So they're going to click on their borrower and click Options. They will then click Reissue and enter the credit reference ID number from their credit report. For this example, it's a test case, so I'm just going to pull a new report. And they click Submit. Now Octane is going to pull over that credit report. You're also going to see that the debt to income updates as well. So now that I've had the credit report pulled in, I'm actually going to select the loan program by going to the terms screen. And I do see some people using the chat function to ask questions. So please be aware that you can always chime in, ask your questions in the chat field, and we will get to those at the end. So now that I'm in term screen, the broker from here can actually update the loan amount if they need to, change the sales price if they need to, and change the structure of the loan inside the term screen. Once they have the loan set up correctly, they're going to go to Get Rates. They're going to choose which loan program they would like, and then Find Rates. Now Octane is going to give you all of the available programs for what you selected. So we're going to see all the conventional loan programs that we offer. So you'll see Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, Home One, Home Possible, Home Ready, and Conventional X. So I'm just going to use Fannie Mae for this example. I'm going to choose what's closest to par and choose Selected. You'll now see along the loan ribbon that it's going to update with the rate and the program, and your debt to income will update as well as the monthly payment. So this takes just a couple of seconds to pull through. And now that we have the loan program selected, your broker would be able to lock the loan at this point and keep moving forward with the disclosure process. The workflow screen is the guide to the entire process. I'm actually going to complete this one. That should not have happened. 1 second here. Just bear with me 1 second. So this is a test loan, so just one moment here. This should update, and we should have the disclosure preparation workflow step.
Hey, it's not a demo unless
something goes a little.
It's not a demo unless something struggles with the test file, but it should show how easy we can fix stuff.
So let's see here. It is not in there. Just bear with me. I'm going to have someone hop in and get this updated for us real quick. All right, I have one of our ops managers on this right at the moment, so we'll get this taken care of and we'll be able to move forward. So since I have a couple of questions, I'm just going to go ahead and hop in here and answer these real quick as I get this updated for us. The first question I have is, can I change the liabilities in Octane? So when I pulled that credit over, you would see that the liabilities do come over as well. you can actually go directly in these liabilities and make any adjustments you need. There's no change of circumstance form that you need to fill out. You do not need to submit a new 1003. You can actually come in here and mark these if it's paid off or not going to continue. You can go in and update it here as well. So I got confirmation that we got this all set. So now I'm going to go back and go through this process with you. So now we have disclosure preparation. This is what your broker will use in order to move the loan forward. There's 2 tasks that we have to complete, as well as 9 critical checks. What I like to do is just take a quick snippet of those critical checks so I don't have to go back to workflow, so I can just navigate the screens. It tells you where to go to solve the critical checks in parentheses. So for this first one, Alice first timer has dependents is not set. I know to go to the borrower screen to complete that. If I click into Alice, I can go down here, has dependents no. One of the other critical checks is schooling years, and another one from this screen is there is no email address, so I need to add that in here. All right, and again, I'm going to save before I leave the screen. I had a HIMDA critical, so I'm going to navigate over to that screen, answer that question. And then the last one in the borrower screen that we need are tax filing. We do ask for this information up front so that we can get the 4506T forms e-signed. If we do not need the tax transcripts, we're not going to execute this, but this really saves a lot of time on the back end in case we need them, so that it's already available for us. We do not need to go back to the borrower to have them execute this later in the process. So now that I have that done, I'm going to go over to the income screen as it's one of my critical checks. Octane is powered by Google. So once you type in the company name, you can actually search Google for all of the phone number and the address. Again, we're going to click Save. One of the great things about Octane is it actually gives you an income calculator. So if it's self-employed, you can add that business income, check how they file their taxes, and you can actually line by line put in the information from the tax returns to get an accurate number exactly the same way as an underwriter will calculate it for that monthly income. So I'm going to cancel this and just keep moving forward. And now if I go to workflow, I'll show you that our critical checks have now been cut down to 2. So I'm going to go to transaction. I'm going to have this as an e-transaction, and I'm going to go to assets to make sure our funds for closing match up, that the borrower has sufficient funds. So once those deficiencies go to 0, we'll be able to move forward. So now I go back to workflow. I have no more critical checks. I've already completed this task of pulling in the credit report, so I'm going to go ahead and complete this one. And the last task we have is to review and confirm broker fees in the charges and credit screen. I'm going to go over to the charges and credit screen. I'm going to look at my broker compensation. It's at 2.5% for this example. I'm good with that. I know that looks good. We also provide the full list of fees for the loan on the charges and credit screen, and the brokers can actually go in and update these. So let's say they have a closing protection letter that's not $35, it's actually $70. They can go in here, unenable that charge for $35. Octane will update so that fee is no longer included, and then simply add the charge back in for that closing protection letter fee at $70. Now they'll add it back in, and now you'll see that that line item is updated in your charges and credit screen. So now, at this point, go ahead.
That's basically what the LE is going to look like when it pushes out, that charges and credit screen, correct?
Yes, correct. So your LE comes directly off of this screen. If you want to look at it as a quick loan quote, your brokers actually have the ability to pull a loan quote up that they can send to their borrowers as well. So here's just a quick loan quote that they have that has all of those fees broken out, and something that they might be more familiar seeing. So they have access to this throughout the entire loan process. So when they get their title docs back, they can actually go in and adjust these costs. No waiting on us. There's 0 turn time for that. and then they have their loan updated. Exactly, if they want to make sure that the cash from borrower reflects what they have and what they talked about with their borrower, they can do that directly from this screen without waiting on anyone here at Cardinal. So now that I've adjusted the charges and credits, I'm going to go back to workflow, go back into my disclosure prep, and I'm going to mark this task complete. And now I can actually send disclosures directly to my borrower. So all of this in about 15 minutes, I have disclosures out to my borrower, and I didn't need any help from anyone at Cardinal Financial to do that. This is all in the control of the broker. So they have total flexibility with their time. They can do this in the evening. It's 24 hours a day they have access to Octane. So now if I go to my documents screen and I go to packages, I can see my application disclosures right here. This is everything that has been sent to the borrower. The only wet signature we need is notice of a right to select attorney, and that's state specific. So that's the only document they would need to print out and sign. Everything else in here, they'd be able to e-sign. Another nice thing about Octane is there's automated messages that go out. So right away, if the disclosures are successfully sent, your LO and their processor is going to receive an automated email letting them know they actually completed the workflow step and their disclosures are sitting with their borrower. The last step the broker would need to do for the borrowers to access disclosures is go back to the borrower screen and send them a loan key. So they send them this 5-digit key. If they put in a mobile phone number, you can actually shoot a text directly from Octane. So if they put in a mobile phone number, they can click on their loan key. Once this saves, and they can actually send a text directly to their borrower from Octane with their loan key, and an email has already been sent to their borrower with disclosures. Couple of nice things as well in the documents screen, which I think is very beneficial, is there's stacks. And what they can do is after the loan funds, they can actually come into stacks and download a complete loan stack that has everything they need in case their file gets audited down the road. The nice thing is it has a QR code as well, so all the auditor would have to do is scan the QR code, and every single document they're going to need for an audit is right here in one neat place, and they have access to go into these loans after they fund as well to pull this if necessary. So that is a quick overview of how to send out disclosures. At this time, I'm going to look at the chat and answer some questions. So let me go over there real quick. So I answered the liabilities tab, and the nice thing about this too is if your borrower goes out and they actually, let's say they buy a car, you can quickly add this liability in. So let's just quickly add car, an account number, a street address. And again, it's powered by Google. So once you type in an address, it happens. Let's say that it was opened this month. It's all right. Let's update this. And now you'll see that I'm going to add this liability in. I added that liability, and now if I go to the documents screen, Octane is automated and it knows to ask about this new liability. So if I go down here, we're actually going to need this new current billing statement, and that has automatically been added to Octane after I created that liability. So your broker knows exactly what they need for this new liability they added. If they go to requirements, they can see exactly what is needed for that new condition. A nice thing as well as what we provide is we actually provide an underwriting disposition at the time of submittal. So you can actually see down here how there's an underwriting disposition borrower outstanding. And I want to show you what that looks like. Here's a condensed version of that we provide at the time of submittal. So they would actually get it in checklist fashion of what is required prior to approval right here, so that they can see that in all at one neat place. Smart Docs, that's what we call our documents screen. gives you all of the requirements as well. An underwriter is going to go through in checklist fashion. So let's go bank statements, for example. You go to requirements. An underwriter is just going to go through in checklist fashion to make sure all of these requirements are met. For any reason, if this is rejected, let's say the account type is not for a minor or custodial in nature, and you click on this and the decision status says rejected, there will be a detailed explanation of why this requirement is rejected. So fully transparent, you'll be able to see all of the notes left by the underwriter and the reasons for that. Let's see here. Oh, this is perfect segue into this one. Do we have access to the underwriters? Yes, you actually have direct access to every member of the team. So if you go to the team screen, once this file is pushed to underwriting, you will actually see the underwriter's name, their direct phone number, and their email address. So your brokers can reach out to the underwriter at any time if they have any questions on how they underwrote the file. How do we change the loan program? How long does that take? So we don't have any change of circumstance forms. You could actually go into the term screen. This is a conventional loan right now and it's been disclosed. I can actually go to get rates. I can change this to an FHA loan right away without waiting on anyone at Cardinal or out sending any forms in. So if the borrower wanted to go with FHA instead of conventional, I could go down here, select the new loan program, and with 3 clicks inside of Octane, I can actually have this redisclosed to the borrower directly with 0 turn time. So once this loan updates, you'll see it along the loan ribbon. It now changed to FHA. I would click Process Changes. The process changes will resubmit to AUS. It'll redisclose the loan directly to the borrower, and it'll notify the entire team that there has been an adjustment to the loan. So that happens instantly. There's no waiting on anyone over here, and the broker has access to that the entire loan process. Let's see, can the broker create a template of their normal fees? Actually, no. So if the charges and credit screen you're talking about here in section C, this is actually going to be pulled over from equity settlement services on every loan. They can go in here. If they do have a template, they can obviously work with their team members, with the WCAs, in order to have these updated on a normal basis after the loan has been registered. All right. Where can we find the preliminary approval you mentioned? Okay, I already went over that one. That would be in the documents, just going back to it. And you would grab this underwriting, disposition, borrower outstanding, click on files, and you would open this up. This is a test loan, so it's not going to have that listed. But here is what it will normally look like with this checklist fashion of everything that they need prior to approval. Let's see here. How long does it change? Okay, what does the CD process look like? So we actually, the CD process will be started 10 days prior to the effective funding date. As long as the 5 requirements are met, we're going to send that out, and we can pre-balance our CDs directly in the charges and credit screen. So once the CD is sent, the borrower can go into their portal and e-sign it, and adjustments to that can happen right here. Now that I'm onto that, you got me excited about something else. The CD process, when it comes to the final CD, once the loan is cleared to close, since we balance up front, once the underwriter completes their workflow step of completing the loan, disclosures are automated, so they go directly out to third parties. So there is no waiting on that. There's no turn time or a separate department that needs to go in to send out your final closing package. That whole entire process is automated inside of Octane. Let's see, can the broker add broker-specific documents to send with the initial document packages? So they don't need to. All of the broker-specific documents that could possibly be needed from a compliance standpoint are in the document screen, and they get sent out with the packages. So this application disclosure package includes all broker-specific docs. That is integrated into Octane at the onboarding process. All right. Can you show us how to view our pipeline? Yeah, of course. So a neat thing about Octane is it actually gives you a full report of you can look at your active loans. This is a test case, so you can't see it really in great detail here. But if you went into your pipeline active, all of your loans would be listed here. You can sort by effective funding date. You can also export it to an Excel sheet and manipulate the data that way. So if I went to my pipeline, you'll see here that I actually have 5 loans in the pipeline right now. And you can see if there's any lock for it, if the appraisal has been ordered, so on and so forth from this screen. It's really good. You can go to workflow queues as well to see how long a loan's been sitting in a specific workflow queue so that you know the loan can keep moving forward. Do the brokers get to review the CD prior to disclosures? Yes, there is a workflow step for them that they must complete in order to send it out. And there's communication with that from the WCA throughout the loan process to let them know once the broker goes in and confirms the CD, the automated process starts and it's sent directly to the borrower. So that automation is actually in the hands of our broker partners to actually send the CD. We will pre-balance it, have it all set up for them to go. They'll receive an email that it's ready to go. All they need to do is hop into Octane and complete the workflow step or agree to it to one of our team members, and we can actually complete those workflow steps for them. Another nice thing about Octane is there can be multiple people working inside the same file at the same time. So the broker could be in this loan, the WCA, the processor, and the underwriter all could be in the same loan, completing workflow steps and working on the loan. Let's see, did I miss any here? How quickly can you get a closing package out after CTC? So again, that process is automated. So once the underwriter CTCs the file, that's sent directly out. So there is no waiting on it. There's no turn time. That happens instantly. Let's see, what else do we, just want to check to make sure I haven't missed any. If anyone has any more questions, please go ahead and ask them now. Can you show us how to upload conditions? Yes. Okay, so the document screen is all smart docs. Okay, so this has everything that we're going to need prior to approval. So let's say that we actually have bank statements for Alice First Timer. They will click into bank statements. They will go into files, and they can actually add a file from their computer if they want. So add file, I'm just going to pull in one here. They can pull that in. They would then go to requirements and check off all the requirements that it met. If it meets all of them, they'll just make a check and mark it fulfilled. This indicates to the underwriter, if you go back and look at bank statements, that it is fulfilled. So once this is pushed to underwriting, the underwriter will know that they can go in and review the bank statements. How is the underwriter notified to underwrite and then clear conditions? So this is a workflow step. So if I go to workflow, you'll see submittal preparation. This is how to move the loan to underwriting. Anytime that the broker's name is listed under who, that means the ball is in their court in order to move the loan forward. So once I have the minimum requirements met of income and asset docs, and I run AUS, I'll get to AUS in a second. That's really awesome as well. Once they do that, they can go to workflow into the submittal prep. They'd have to complete these 4 critical checks, make sure that the borrower has activated the dashboard, that the effective funding dates are met, and they run AUS. And then they would be able to complete this step to push it to underwriting. So I'd like to show you AUS at this moment. I'm going to go ahead and submit this to DU. Now, Octane is going to run DU or LP throughout the entire loan process. So your brokers can go in and restructure their loan and submit it to DU or LP. They do not need to bring in their own findings. They don't need to wait on anyone to do it for them. They have direct access to both AUS for the entire loan process. So if they make a change, there's no change of circumstance form. They can make sure they still have an approved eligible findings and move forward with the loan. A nice thing as well is we have key findings inside of the AUS that will tell you if you have an appraisal waiver right away. So you don't need to hunt around in the findings, you can just look at your key findings and know everything that's going on right away with it. So that is really great and allows flexibility for the brokers to adjust loans if necessary. All right, let's see here. Can we view the closing package? Yes. So once that closing package is sent out, you would just go to your documents, you would go to your packages tab, and it'll be listed here. So you can see these are the original application disclosures that I sent to the borrower when it was a Fannie Mae loan. And now you can see the application disclosures that were sent out when the broker flipped it to FHA. Again, there's no waiting on us. That happens instantly once they click process changes, and you can go in there and now see the new LE and everything that your borrower has in their portal. And again, you're going to have your automated messages. There's new documents on the borrower dashboard because we have updated the loan to FHA. So again, an automated message goes out notifying them of the change of the loan. So again, no waiting on us, full transparency with our brokers partners. Let's see here. I answered that one. I think I answered all of the questions. Tammy, can you think of anything that I might have overlooked or something that might be very important to show them quickly? Really, there's a ton of stuff that you can do in Octane. There's no way I have enough time to show it to you all today. But I really think, touched on a lot of the points that give a lot of control to your broker partners.
Tammy,
all right.
You're on mute.
Here we go. Is there an internal contact associated with each file? Yes, there is. It's actually your wholesale client advocate. They're actually the quarterback of the loan. So any adjustments that the broker needs to do to the loan, if they cannot do it themselves or they run into any problems at all, they're going to contact their wholesale client advocate. The nice thing is there's a transaction assistant on every file as well who will obtain third-party items such as the appraisal. They will balance with title for you. Will actually go out and get all of your condo docs and pay for those for your borrower. So it saves them some money that way as well. That's something that we provide to all of our broker partners. And again, once this is assigned to an underwriter, the broker has direct access to the underwriter as well. Just as Teresa is listed here, the underwriter will be listed as well with their direct number and email address.
Do we have any other questions, Matt?
I think I got to all of them. Yep, I got them all. So if there's no more, Tammy, go ahead.
We just want to wrap up today's demo, and I want to leave you guys with one thought, that this is not a portal. I know that there are a lot of lenders out there that they have a portal and then it talks to their back-end system. So this is the loan origination system that the brokers, and again, all of the team members work within. Everybody sees the same thing, multiple people in a loan at the same time. So I wanted to differentiate that real quick. We will follow up with each of you guys today. If you have additional questions, the individual sales leader will follow up with you directly, especially for feedback on these demos. So thank you for attending today, everyone. We really appreciate your interest in looking at Octane and joining our amazing team. So have a wonderful day, and thank you for giving us a little bit of your time today. I do appreciate it.
Thanks, Tammy. Thank you, everyone that joined. Have a good one. Bye.